What's up, guys? Happy Wednesday. I hope you all are having a good day. Let me know when you're on live with me. Give me a thumbs up, give me a heart. Let me know that you will be joining in for today's discussion. I want to just introduce myself for those of you all who may not know me. Maybe you're new around here. My name is Jessica McCowan. I'm a certified personal trainer, online boot camp coach, and I am also a health, wellness, and nutrition coach. And I'm coming on here at Get Fit with Jess to kind of talk to you, give you a little bit of Wednesday wisdom. Let's have some real talk about a real struggle, which is sugar. Now, a couple of weeks ago, maybe it's just a week and a half ago, I came into my stories and I asked you, what was your main struggle? Like, what's your biggest struggle? And across the board, the most popular answer was sugar. And again, this is a real struggle. This is a real problem. And that's why I wanted to come in and have some real talk about this with you, especially as we are coming into Halloween. Halloween is just a couple of days away. So I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about this, give you some tips and just some different strategies that you can take that have worked for me, that work for my clients, that I share with my clients, and I hope that they will help you too. So here's the first thing. First things first, when I have a client come to me and they tell me, Jess, I crave sugar all the time. I'm like really addicted to it. I've got a real issue and it's a real problem. The first thing that I say is, sugar, the more you have, the more you crave. And that statement could not be more true. That is what it is. The more you have, the more you crave. And then even on the flip side of that, the less you have, the less you crave. So, for most people, when they're saying that to me, we can look at kind of their diet, what they normally eat on a daily basis, and whether that is kind of those hidden sugars, and we're going to talk about that in a second. Their diet is pretty full of sugar, whether that's, having the cakes and the cookies and the candy, or maybe it's even in those artificial sweeteners. That's why they're craving so much, is because they are eating so much. So really the main thing, the number one thing that we have to do to kind of start this process of getting that sugar kind of out of their system is basically just detoxing from it. And this is the hardest part. And this is the most challenging part. And I'm not going to tell you that it's going to be easy. It is not going to be easy. It's not fun, but you can do it. And it kind of ranges. It's different from person to person, from client to client, but typically within 3, 4, 5, sometimes on up to the 6, 7 day range. That's kind of what it takes of really kind of cutting that back, cutting it out, and detoxing from that sugar. Again, it's not fun. You may experience some headaches. You may experience kind of your energy level kind of decreases a little bit. You might be a little irritable, and all that is very, very normal. And I have some tips to kind of help you get through this, but this is the thing. We have to push through it. You have to get past that block. And it's beautiful on the other side of that. You will feel so much better. Your energy is going to be out the roof. You're going to be sleeping better. You're going to overall be feeling better. Mentally, that fog, that brain fog is gone. Your joints are probably going to feel a lot better. Again, it's just a beautiful place on the other side of that. But it's a bit of a struggle to get through it. But here's some tips that I have on getting through that sugar detox. And number one, you got to get the sugar out of your house, because when you're going through that, when you're trying to detox from that, and you are irritable and you do have a headache and you just feel blah, if it is in your house, you're going to go grab it. You're going to have some major willpower to pass that up when you're feeling like that, right? So number one, before you even start it, get it out of your house, okay? And then I would suggest coming in, my next tip is replacing that, all the junk, all the candy, all that kind of sugary stuff, and bring in good natural sugar, such as fruit that you love, that that you're going to enjoy. Okay, so bring that stuff in, maybe even some dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is full of health benefits, full of nutrients, so that would be a great choice. And for me, I have a protein shake almost every single day. It's a chocolate protein shake. It's made from plant-based protein. I mix that with unsweetened almond milk. I do a banana in that, maybe add some powdered peanut butter, or maybe you want to use regular, peanut butter in that. I put ice in it and blend it up, and it is like a Frosty. And I have that almost every single day. I enjoy that. I look forward to that. And that kind of helps curb that sweet tooth, because I feel like I am eating ice cream, or I'm eating a Frosty, but it's very, very little sugar in that. And then it's chock full of fiber, which is going to keep me feeling fuller longer, full of protein. So yeah, making those little switches and kind of almost tricking your body to thinking that you're getting something sweet, and then, flooding your body with good nutrients. And kind of going back to the fruits and even the dark chocolates and things like that, all that is good, and I highly recommend getting plenty of that in. Is there a specific type of dark chocolate that is recommended over others? That's a great question, Lola. So I love Lily's dark chocolate, and then I shop a lot at Kroger, so I use their brand. I would suggest making sure that it's 70% at least cacao, okay? Anything kind of under that kind of doesn't have the same benefit, so I would look for at least 70% or above, all right? That's a great question. But even with that, okay, so let's talk about that. Even with the dark chocolate, or even with those natural sweeteners like in fruit, you got to be careful with that too, because that can add up, if you're just eating tons and tons of that. So still in moderation with those things. But that is a great way to kind of get past that little part of the detox where you're really, really struggling. And another thing, chug the water, okay? That I cannot stress that enough. That is going to help so much, just to kind of help you get through that detox. So make sure you are drinking plenty of water. And I love to even infuse my water with fruit. So maybe do kind of like a berry infuse, doing blackberries, blueberries, strawberries, kind of let it steep overnight. It's wonderful like that. I love doing lemon or lime or oranges in my water. So lots of ways that you can infuse your water. Like if you need that flavor to your water, that will be a great way to do that. And again, that just kind of flushes everything out. Excellent, excellent choice to do that. Now, if you need to have maybe the little drops in your water, that's fine, okay? Progress, not perfection. We do want to try to get as much of that artificial sweetener out of our system, but if you gotta have a few drops of that to get you through, then that is fine, okay? Give yourself some grace, and it will help, but make sure you are chugging the water. And then another thing, don't deprive yourself. So yes, we want to try to detox as much as possible there at the beginning, but then, kind of once you get through that, don't say that it's off limits, because anytime you say this is off limits, I can't have this, that's the only thing that you think about, and you're just going to crave it even more. So realize that, you don't need to be saying no. Don't ever say, no, I cannot have that. Just, no, I don't really want that right now. Or, allow yourself to have a little bit here and there, and that way you're not feeling so deprived, like you cannot have it. So those are kind of some ways to get past that. And like I said, this could be a different time period for different individuals. So it's very, very, very different from person to person. But usually within those first few days, you are feeling so much better, and you're gonna just not really want to eat the sugar like you did before, because you're going to realize, oh my gosh, this is how it feels to not be, eating sugar all the time. And, especially with Halloween coming up, and this is another reason why I wanted to hop on and talk about this, because, we're surrounded by it, okay? This time of year especially. So a couple little tips on, trying to not go overboard with it this time of year around Halloween. Number one, I would suggest keeping it tight, like right now, this week. Make sure, and maybe this isn't the best time for you to detox sugar, but maybe you're going to use these tips next week. That would be a great time to just get it all out of your system and detox from it. And again, the more you have, the more you crave. The less you have, the less you crave. But really keep it tight here through this week as we're coming into the weekend. That's kind of the strategy that I'm taking, because I know that I'm going to be having some things this weekend that I don't normally have, or I'll be having more than I normally have. So I'm going to try to keep it really tight right now through the week, staying on point with my nutrition, chugging my water all week long, making sure I'm getting adequate water intake every single day. And then, I'm going to allow myself to have my favorite candy and my favorite treats. Again, like I was just talking about, do not deprive yourself. Like if I come into this weekend and I'm going to say, I'm not eating any candy, I'm not going to eat any desserts, how do you think that that's going to go? Probably not going to happen. And then maybe I do, stick to my word and what I said. And then probably next week I will be digging through the kids' candy bowl, right? So don't deprive yourself. Allow yourself to have those things that you love. For me, I love chocolate. Reese Cups are my absolute favorite. So yes, I'm going to have a couple of Reese Cups, and I'm going to not feel bad for having those. So like I said, I'm going to keep it tight this week. I'm going to drink my water, and then I am going to have dessert or a couple of treats that I enjoy. And then I'm going to, do that to my satisfaction, and then I'm going to be done. All right. Yeah. So Dawn says me too. Oh my goodness. My favorite. So yeah, don't deprive yourself. Allow yourself to have a couple of treats. And just like I mentioned earlier, obviously in moderation, but hopefully with that attitude and with that mindset, you'll be able to go into this Halloween weekend knowing, okay, I'm going to allow myself to have those things. I'm not going to feel bad about it. And then I'm going to be done. I'm going to be getting right back on track next week. And this is the kicker right here, guys. Don't let it linger, okay? And especially for those of you all who have kids, they get so much candy. Now, it may be different this year, I don't know, but mine have already gotten a ton of candy already, and it's not even Halloween yet, but don't let it linger. Do not let it linger in the house. There are lots of ways that we can get rid of it. That's where you get into trouble, is when it's lingering for on into next week, and then the week after that, and then maybe even the week after that, and it's constantly there. So that was my number one tip earlier, right? Get it out of the house. Same thing, coming back here at the end of Halloween weekend, let's get it out of the house. Donate it, trash it, okay? I know some people have an issue with that. I don't. Sorry. Most of this candy's probably been around for a year or so. It needs to be thrown away. But, if you do have issues with that, then let's find other ways. I know for some parents, they like to kind of take and do a swap. Maybe they allow their kids to have, okay, pick out, 10 of your favorite pieces of candy out of what you've gotten, 10, 15, whatever. It's different from family to family, and then, you know, take the rest and say, okay, we're going to donate this. Or, you know, if you guys have suggestions on what you do with your candy when Halloween's over, I would love for you to drop those here, share with everybody. I would love to have more ideas on what to do with it. But then some people kind of swap that out with maybe, you know, going and getting a book or a puzzle, or, you know, maybe a toy or something like that, to kind of exchange that with their kids. So, you know, not only is it an issue for us as adults, but also, you know, for our kids. They don't need, I mean, same goes for them. The more they have, the more that they crave. So again, don't let it linger too long. Get it out as soon as possible. And again, get right back on track. Starting, you know, on Sunday or on Monday, whatever that may look like and be for you. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I come into Halloween, and some of the strategies that I take. And I want to enjoy it. I want you to enjoy it. And I hope that these tips were helpful for you. I would love to know, you know, give me your feedback in the comments. Let me know maybe what stood out to you the most, or maybe, like I said, maybe you have another tip or something like that you would love to share. I would love for you to do that. I hope that you have a happy and healthy Halloween. Thank you guys so much for joining, and I will see you next time. Bye.